And welcome back. Well, in our series of getting to know your county council representatives, we've brought with us today Councilman John Grasso from the 2nd District. Councilman, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Eric. I appreciate it.
Welcome to the hot seat, by the way.
The hot seat.
I know you like being on the hot seat from time to time. The Capitol, Eric Hartley, called you the guy with a million ideas a couple weeks ago. You've developed a reputation as somebody who likes to think outside the box and get things done for Anne Arundel County residents. Tell us a little bit about how the first 4 or 5 months have went for you on the county council.
Oh, it's unbelievable. As most people know, I started my council position 3 weeks before I was actually the councilman. And it all started from the Glen Burnie landfill and talking to the employees of what's really going on. And soon to find out that, residents were coming in there, whether they were Anne Arundel County residents or other city or other counties coming in and actually stealing our assets. And the problem was that we didn't have a law in the place to say that we couldn't take it. So I spoke to management about it, and I said, look, we need a law in here that's gonna handle this problem. I said, because we don't need the police coming here and arresting somebody, and then lo and behold, we're fitting with a lawsuit because it's an illegal arrest. That's just how it is. And putting that first bill in actually probably would have happened in less than 60 days, and it was actually the first bill for our council.
That's great.
Yep.
So what are some of your goals for your time on the council?
Oh boy, I got a whole lot of them. I got a whole lot of them. Actually, I got 1 million of them. Okay, one of the columnists for one of the newspapers, Eric Hartley, called me the man with the million ideas. And when you read the article a little bit, you kind of you think out of it. Do you think you're a blowboater, or are you really going to get something done? Well, I'm determined to show him that I'm not the blowboater. And I called and left a voice message to him, and I said, "This is the man with the million ideas. Here's 1 million right now." And first bill passed in 60 days. I said, here's 999,000. And I said, now we got the Second Chance building opening up. And I said, and I'll keep you tuned on 998,000, 997,000. And I said, I'm going to make that million ideas come true.
Tell us a little bit about that Second Chance building. This is an issue you brought to the administration's attention, and we just kicked it off 2 weeks ago with the first establishment of it, and I think we had 30 or 40 people come through there and donate some items. You guys will be out there tomorrow, Saturday, to do the big grand kickoff for it.
The Second Chance building was just an answer to the public. Particularly, really, what it was an answer to is that when I went into the landfill to talk to them about the bill protecting the assets, I find it the best source of people to talk to is the actual employees of different departments. Because if you ever want to know the truth about something, go to the employees. They're the ones that have the ideas. If you want things sugar-coated, go to management, because they'll tell you that it's really not happening. So one of the employees come up to me, and he says to me, he goes, hey, John, he goes, here's something you can work on. How come when somebody brings something decent into the building, you just can't give it to them? And I said, what are you talking about? He says, you just can't give it to them. He goes, you got to take them outside the gate, outside the county thing, and swap it. And he goes, and by that time, the person doesn't want to wait, and before you know it, you're throwing something decent into the can. So I said to myself, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And myself, I believe in one man's junk's another man's treasure. I used to love going to the landfills, and if there was something decent, as a kid, I used to ride my bicycle in the Glen Burnie landfill. And during the weekends when they were closed, we were able to get our bicycles back there, and we used to get all kinds of bicycle parts and everything, and we used to have a blast. So I met with the couple representatives in Waste Management, and I talked to them about the idea. And one of the things that seemed to be a concern of the management was that it was a safety issue. And then I said, well, I don't think there's a real lot of safety involved in me taking an item from my truck to another truck. And then the other issue seemed to be was that they were worried about the service that we could provide for the constituent coming in. It's going to take too much time if everybody's dancing behind vehicles. So what I did is I just come up with the idea called the Second Chance building. And the Second Chance building was really a win-win for everybody. And the purpose of the Second Chance building was to allow someone that comes in with some decent product that maybe that they don't know where the Salvation Army is or the Red Cross, or maybe they just don't feel like riding all the way down there. Instead of that item coming into the landfill and being dumped into our can, and the number that I was getting was roughly about $500,000 per acre to dig the landfill. Instead of the item going in there, and these people know that's good, let's put a building up, or we already have the building, and let's just put that item right there. And then what it does is it's a win-win for everybody, because then the understanding I have is that we have several nonprofits that are manning the building now. And I would take it that when a person brings something, there will probably be a little receipt of taxable value that the person used for the taxes. So here's what we got. We got the person dropping it off as happy as anything because they know in their heart that this is a good item that somebody can use. They get a little kick with a nice little thing for incentive for the taxes. The next person comes along and says, hey, maybe I just need a new lamp or something that's decent looking, or maybe I got a family that's just starting out that wants to furnish their whole house. They go to our Second Chance building and they walk out of there for dirt cheap money and set up their whole apartment. And then the taxpayers win because those items don't wind up into the landfill, which costs us $500,000 per acre to win. It's a win-win for everybody with this deal.
It sounds like a fantastic idea. I was just thinking myself where I was going to take some things. I've been doing some spring cleaning. So what are some of the biggest challenges that you've had?
during the campaign, I focused on 4 major issues in my campaign. One was the illegal immigration. That seemed to be a very, very big issue in my district. The second thing was creating jobs, trying to reduce people's property taxes, which is really going to be virtually impossible at this point because we're trying to come up with $20-some million that we're short right now. And one of the other things that I spoke to people about is actually cleaning the environment or cleaning our waterways that actually are in our area, which is Marley Creek and Furnace Creek. You know, I live on Marley Creek, and that to me is like a real pet peeve. Back in 1986, some folks probably might have remembered when I ran for the county executive Republican nomination. And I was just a chef for LaFontainebleau. I was 24 years old, and I was just at that point where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And $700 in my pocket and down to Annapolis to throw my name into the ringer. And, you know, I went off on my little campaign. I never realized Anne Arundel County was as big as it was. And lo and behold, you know, I'm up running against this. And unfortunately, I didn't make the nomination, and I lost by 19 votes. But the creek seemed to be a big issue. So they're actually the 4 major things that I'm on right now. There's a website that the first page is up. We just have the text. It's called Clean the Creeks of District 2. I also had some legislation brought to me from Colorado that the issues they are having with illegal immigration that we're going to review and try to perhaps pass that in our county. That's another issue right there. So, and as far as like the job creations, I've spoken to the administration about several things of creating more enterprises within the county. One of the things that I'm thinking outside the box and bottling our own water, you know, artesian well water by Anne Arundel County. I believe that's a big money maker to be made. I mean, if Sam's Club can sell those ugly looking water bottles and make millions of dollars, why can't we sell one with a pretty label on it? And when people buy the water, they're actually going to be supporting Anne Arundel County, and it'll be put through the same process that Sam's Club's been put through. We already have the distribution network. I believe we have 114 schools already in Anne Arundel County. All these schools have vending machines, so this would be an issue that all our bottled water would be available for the constituents that want to help. We already have the water truck. We already have the water. So I believe that if we get this enterprise up and running, this will also start creating some jobs for us. There's a lot of things, you know, that we can go at, but that's where I'm at.
Well, Councilman, you've certainly made an impression on the Anne Arundel County Council. I think one citizen came up to me one time and said, John Grasso is not your ordinary councilman. How do you respond to that?
Well, the one thing that folks need to understand that I am not in here for the money. I think I've made it real clear that I've committed to give away 3 years of my salary back to Anne Arundel County. It's being done in 3 different areas. There's like 62 churches in our area. And these churches are basically helping people that had a decent job, had a home, economy hit them hard, and before you know it, they find themselves in a homeless center. So I'm committed to try to help those churches that are helping people that had everything and then lost everything. I'm not a big fan of people that try not to make anything out of their life. I'm not a handout type guy, but I will help someone that has ambition that wants to make their life good. One of the other issues too, one of the other years of the money is I'm an animal lover. I love animals. I'm constantly rescuing animals. So the SPCA in Annapolis is going to get pretty much 1 year of councilman's salary. Clean the Creeks, the website, Clean the Creeks of District 2 is going to get that. So when a politician comes along, the first thing you start thinking of, never trust a man in a suit, and I don't mean to be in a suit here, folks, but first thing I say, what is their gain to try to get out of this? So I wanted to tell people, I don't like the word politician. Statesman sounds a lot better. Politician leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. So the only way I feel about it is that to prove that I'm not like everybody else, what's the first way to do it is to give the money back. Now I am keeping 1 year. I mean, that's a given. You know, I think we get $36,000. I don't even know what I get paid because it doesn't mean anything to me at this point. What it means to me is to make our county the best. So I am keeping 1 year to compensate myself for my own personal money that I drew on a charge card to run this campaign. And that right there should tell people my sincerity of what I'm doing right
Good.
there.
Well, Councilman Grasso, thanks for joining us on the show, and please come back when you get down to idea number 3, 4, maybe even that idea number 1.
I will definitely be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and take a break, but when we come back, there'll be more Week in Review. Stay with us.